All right, the first thing you're doing is the coloring sheet that has to do with the charges on the polyatomic ions. That's pretty easy. You should enjoy doing that. Here's number 2. I had asked you last week to know the famous 8s. Now, what I'm going to ask you right now, I'm not going to give you a quiz, but let's pretend that we had a quiz, and you had to give me the famous 8s. All right, without looking, raise your hand if you know one of the famous 8s. All right, good. What is it? And what is it? I bet nitrate has nitrogen in it.
Oh, NO4.
No, but you're close.
3.
And what charge does it have?
-2.
No.
-1.
Okay, so you sort of know nitrate. Okay, give me another one without looking.
Acetate.
What is it?
C3. I know it's CHO. Is it?
2, 3, 2.
Yeah, that.
What's the charge?
It has a -2. Is it also -1?
Can you close that door for me, one of you? That's called acetate. All right, now we have to push on this. Aritza. One more time. Man, I can't hear. Can you close this door also? Whew.
I said sulfate.
I know. And what is it?
SO4 and then -2.
Okay, you're right. Another famous 8. Yes.
Carbonate. It's CO3 -2.
Another one.
Chlorate. ClO3 -1.
Yes, yes, yes. Another one. Somebody hadn't done one yet. Now I'll call if you. Nobody else. I'll raise you. Nobody else. Somebody else. All right, another one.
Phosphorate.
Phosphate.
Oh yeah, phosphate. It's PO4 to the -3.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2 more. Anybody without looking? Anybody with looking? No, without looking. Go ahead.
Permanganate.
Permanganate.
Permanganate. It's NNO to the 3rd or to the 4th and then -1.
Not to the 4th. This is subscript, not superscript. What's the charge?
-1.
One more. One more. Yes.
Ammonium. Which is
Well, even though it's not an 8 though, famous 8 ends in 8. It's got chromium in it. Chromate. Now, if I said by today you should know the famous 8s, how well did you do? Not good, not well, right? But you cannot put it off. You cannot put it off. I'm giving you more days. I'm giving you 2 days to study. You get that? But you cannot put this off. Today I'm going to teach you how to name acids. Guess what you have to know to name some of the acids? Polyatomic ions. You get that? So you could bust this test in half. You could just blow it up on Thursday if you wanted to. If you want to. Now, another thing I'm going to show you, and Matthew, here's some tricks I had for them. Ready? If you know nitrate, what would you call it if you took an oxygen away but had the same charge? Nitrite. And there is no acetate, but what if you took an oxygen away from sulfate? What's SO3? Sulfite. Okay, now there is no carbonite except on Star Wars where Han Solo got locked in carbonite. But there's no real such thing as carbonite. They made that up for the movie. How about this one? Does it have an ite to it? Okay. How about this one? Does it have one? Not PO4, but what? Now I'm glad they had the same charge. That makes it easier. Wait. Oh, I'm talking at the same time. All right, no. How about this one? No chromite. All right, so there, we got that. 8 plus these, okay. What if you were to add a hydrogen to this? What if you added a +1 hydrogen to this guy? He wouldn't be -2 anymore. What would you call that? Hydrogen carbonate. And you know what? I don't even know the real reason for this, but I know it won't go away. There's another name for that same ion. If you go home today and go find a box of baking soda. The ingredients will say contains sodium bicarbonate. You say, bicarbonate? What's bicarbonate? Unfortunately, and fortunately, you can use either one of those. You want to call it bicarbonate? Okay. You want to use hydrogen carbonate? Okay. Same thing. Now, let's do another one. What if I add a hydrogen onto PO4 -3? It wouldn't be -3 anymore. What would it be? If I add a plus hydrogen to -3, what would it become? See that? And what would be the name for this? Hydrogen what? Phosphate. Okay, I'm not going to spend. All right. Now, let's go with, here, how about this one? What would this be called? SO4, but not -2 anymore. What's that called? Hydrogen sulfate. Got that? Now, so now you can see how I'm branching off. I'm trying to show you how to memorize these. Now, here's another memory trick. The only one that's positive. What's the only polyatomic that's plus charge? Okay, I bet everybody has that in priority down, right? Okay, so that's by himself. And there were two that I thought the people should have been slapped for naming it that way. What was the stupid named polyatomic ions? They should not have had a polyatomic end in IDE. Cyanide, capital C, capital N, right? Cyanide. And what's the other one? And I use that a lot. So see that? Is it getting a little more tame? Can we actually maybe, all right? Here's another one. What if you were to double this? But not quite double it. Same charge. What would you call it? Chromate. Dichromate. See, if you double these, man, it's close. CR2O7. Get that? And now I link these two together. Okay, what do you think? How many is that so far? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. There's 20 right there. You get that? That's 20. Well, anyway, I'm trying to help you, and I understand if you just sit with the flashcards, you can do that. I get it. But if you see a pattern, then it makes it easier to learn. You okay on that? All right, it's your job. It's your job to learn these polyatomic ions, and you can do it. We have some games we're going to be playing. Here's a game that we're going to play tomorrow. I'll show you how this works. I'll pick 4 of you, and you'll sit on one of these tables, and I'll say +1, -1, -2, -3. And we'll put on a whiteboard, and 4 of you will have a pen, or 3 of you have it, and one person will have the answer sheet. And you'll pick it, let's say it's 1, 2, 3. Let's say you guys are going against each other, okay? Ready? All right, your turn. Give me any polyatomic ion. Tell me where it belongs, what charge, what's the name of it? Any of them.
Ammonium.
Where are you going to put it?
+1.
Tell me ammonium. You're going to have to write this on the board.
NH4? Yeah, 4.
Now, if he does, he still stays in the game. Now it's your turn. Anyone? Anyone?
Nitrate.
Where did I put it?
-1. NO3.
And you have to put this. You have to put the charge on it. Okay, it's not nitrate without the charge. All right, you're still in the game.
Hydroxide, you get -1. It's OH.
Okay, now look, now back to Sawyer, see?
9.
Now, when we play this game tomorrow, what you'll do is, at first, it's very possible you'll be out right away. You might be out right away. And then you start again. And as you play the game about 5 times, you'll actually show you don't like losing. And it'll make you remember the one you lost at. You see that? And so what happens is, by the time you play the 5th game, these columns get really full, and you really get good at it. That's one of the games you're going to play. Another game is I have some flashcards. And what you do is I'll have 4 people at the table, and 1 person will be at the end of the table. And here's the cards at the end of the table, and they'll go like this. PO4 minus 3. And the first person to say phosphate, they get that card. Okay? And it gets very competitive. People start yelling. You didn't think that chemistry, you would have this competition going on. We'll be doing that tomorrow also. But I'm going to do everything I can to help you do these, all right? And we have some other games that are softer games, a little bit nicer. All right, next thing I want to do is, Matthew, I'm going to have you leave right now. And I'm going to hand back your quizzes. Now, what I did with the other class is we looked at page 1, side 1, 10 minutes, okay? And then if they had missed it, they said, can you show me how to do that one? And we did that. And said, oh yeah, that's my mistake. And then you learn from it, okay? So let me pass these back to you. I'll show you some of the stats too, how many people got A's and B's and stuff like that. So, all right, listen for somebody else's name. Libby. Hey, Libby.
Oh, sorry.
Libby. Leroy. Lauren. Wow, first 3 L's. Oh, Leilani. Ooh, everybody needs a last name L. Leilani. Oh, Sarah. Sally. Ooh, Sawyer. What? L and S. If your name doesn't start with L and S, you don't belong here. R.
Yay.
And then Carter. And then Dave, right behind you. That's Dave. And then Riley's way back there, Riley. And Eureka. Hand over to Dave. Dave can have Eureka. All right, here we go. I forgot to look. Clean that. All right. So, I'll show you the stats here in a minute. But before I do that, the 2 people got A on this quiz. Now, Ryan, you're so close, B+. But Sarah and Leroy, those are the 2 A's, okay?
Sarah Leroy.
Now, let's take a look. Remember, a quiz is going to help you. A quiz is going to say, you know what? Wait a minute. Oh, I missed too many. I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do. Take a look at page 1 on the left side only. Left side only. Which one bothers you a little bit? You said, I just don't think I get that. Is it the ick and us? Do you want to hear the ick and us lesson again? Yes. Which one?
Number 3.
Okay, look number 3. Now, the periodic table I gave you said that iron came in 2 and 3. Which one's the big icky monster? 3. So now, what is the charge on this one? All right, so this one, okay, what's the charge on bromine? Look on the periodic table. What's the charge on bromine?
-1.
And how many bromines do you have?
2.
So that's -2. So this iron must be what? +2. Now, is he the big icky? No. So he must be ferrous. Now remember, if you use the Latin words and the ick and us, you do not also use the Roman numeral. You get that? All right, let's do another one. How about another one? On this side only. You want to do another ick and us? Just
Can you do
raise your hand. Which one do you want to do?
10?
What?
10.
Okay. All right, now 10, if we take a look here, what's the charge on nitrate? -1. How many nitrates do I have?
2.
So that'd be -2, so he must be +2 by himself, right? And the periodic table said that copper comes in +1 and +2, so +2 is a big icky monster, isn't he? So cupric nitrate. Now this one, because it was bonus, you could have done it either way. You could have said lead 4 oxide, or you could have said plumbic oxide. Does everybody know how to get 4 here? A lot of you had lead 2. What's the charge on oxygen in a compound? -2. And how many oxygens do you have? You have 2 of them, don't you? That'd be -4, so this guy by himself must be +4. All compounds have a net charge of what? 0. So that's lead 4 oxide. All right, now, another thing, because I've done this so many years, it's not that I want it to happen, but I can tell you that some of you are really good at naming the compound if I write the formula. Now look over here. Just be honest with me. How many of you did worse on this side than you did on this side? And you got to be honest. Okay, so what's happening is you need to practice more of these, don't you? So let's take a look. Which one of these would you like to see me do and say, tell me how your brain worked on that one? Which one?
Number 5.
Okay, 5. Okay, now, acetate is this guy here, and again, you didn't have to memorize it yet, but acetate has a -1 charge, doesn't it? And that was on the periodic table. And what is zinc? Oh, zinc is an always metal. What's always the charge on zinc? Looking up, what is it?
+2.
Okay, now that's not going to work. You can't make a compound like that, so what do I need to do? Do I just need 1 acetate? Or I need 2 acetates? And how do you tell me you need 2 acetates? Huh? Well, the only time you use a parentheses when you need more than 1 polyatomic ion. Is that right? All right, another one. Let's do another one. Pick one that you missed, or you said, I just don't know how I missed that, or can you? Yes.
Number 4.
Okay. Okay, now, whenever they said, I'm running out of room here, they said 10-2, 10-2. You're going to tell me? Yeah, I'm telling you the charge on the 10 is 2, isn't it? You know what the Roman numeral is? And then nitrate is what charge? What's the charge on nitrate? -1. And what are you going to do about that? I can't have +2 and -1. Don't I need another nitrate? So I need another nitrate, don't I? Now it's -2 +2. What's another one? Yes.
5.
5. Now, even though I did that one, I'll do it. I can do it again if you want.
I see it.
But zinc is an always metal, so if you forgot that it was +2, then that's why you might not have done 2 acetates. Up and up. Which one?
Number 8.
8. Okay, now lead 2. PB. You said lead 2? Okay. Thanks for telling me that. And then I look up chlorate and ClO3, and chlorate has a -1 charge. Well, that's no good. What are you going to do here? You just need 1 chlorate? Or you need 2 chlorates? What do you think? So if you look at my stats here, and I'll show you the back of this in just a minute. What's interesting, this class had a bunch of A's and only 1 B. It's like if they knew what they were doing, they got an A, didn't they? And you didn't get hardly any B's. Here, you had a bunch of people get a B. That means you were just a little off, a little bit off. But you had 10 A's and B's. They only had 8. You actually beat them in A's and B's. They just beat you in A's. You get that? So that's the good news here. If you got an A or B on this quiz, you're in pretty good shape. All right, now if you did poorly on this quiz, you said, you know what? I've been kind of being a little lazy. I'm not working hard enough. All right, let's go in the back here, and here I can't take the word compound, but what we're doing, what is this chapter about? How do you name compounds, and how do you write what? What do they call this thing? You don't call it a chemical symbol, you call it a what? Formula. So it has to be formula, it can't be compound. All compounds have a net charge 0. How many of these are binary? All right, 1 element, 2 elements, 3 elements. Nope. 1 element, 2 elements, binary. 1 element, 2 elements. 1 element, 2 elements. So 3 of those were binary. Binary compounds contain a what and a what? Ionic binary compounds contain a what? Metal and non-metal. All binary compounds, I'm surprised that everybody didn't get this right. But IDE, don't they? two more atoms joined together, net charge is 0, compound. What about two or more joined together, the net charge is not 0? Might be +1, might be -3. That's a polyatomic ion. Do you need to use Roman numerals with always metals? Never, never. What's the only time you use a parentheses when you write a formula? I need more than one polyatomic ion. I'm surprised everybody didn't get this right. What's the only polyatomic ion written first because it has a positive charge? And then this is +1, +2, +1, +2, +3. Remember that? All metals are going to have a positive charge, aren't they? What do you think? All right. How honest can you be with me right now? How honest are you? If you got an A, how'd you do it? You just think you knew what you were doing? Okay. What if you got a B and you said, I think I should have had an A, all right? What was that? What happened there? Was that over here? If I had to guess, it'd be over here, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Can we fix that?
I got confused when, like with the subscripts and the charges, I got those like kind of mixed up with each other.
Okay.
Kind of wasn't sure what to do with them.
So what I do is I write the charge of chlorate right here, and then I write this, and I say, well, I need 2 chlorates, and that's when I put that down here. Okay, good. What do you think?
I read it well, but I missed every single parentheses one. I just totally forgot.
Okay, but now, does that mean you know it now, or you just, okay. Well, anyway, we're going to start, and we're going to go ahead and go get Matthew. He can come in now. And by the way, Matthew is not taking this. I'm going to ask you very nicely to make sure you don't tempt him. Don't let him see the quiz. I'm not going to write a new quiz for Matthew. Get that? So just be honest about that. All right, if you would get your packet out, if you'll get your packet out and get your homework packet out. Get this out. By the way, we're not doing the odd questions in this chapter. What are we doing? We're doing this packet, right? Okay, so if you'll get that out. Oops, I gotta find the other one.
There's 2 pages that are the same.
I know. I told people, I said, please do not do that page twice.
Okay.
It was my fault when I copied it. I didn't even catch it till after it's printed. I didn't want to waste the paper. So don't do pages more than once. All right, are you ready? It will take me less than 15 minutes to teach you type 4. It will take me less than 2 minutes to teach type 5. Now, I purposely do that. I know that type 1, 2, and 3 is what I have to spend most of my time on, and you have to memorize polyatomic ions. I know that. But type 4, we'll go ahead and do that now, and then we'll do type 5. All right, let me watch my time. I should be in good shape. Okay, here we go. Now, we have these chemicals in chemistry, and I am gonna get you back in the lab. I'm sorry I haven't been in the lab for a while. But these kind of special chemicals are called acids and bases. Now, the easy one is a base for the 10th grade chemistry. A base is a chemical, it's an ionic compound that has the hydroxide ion in it. So lithium, and you know, the nice part about the base is that another word for base is alkaline. You ever heard of alkaline? Alkaline? Okay, all right. Well, anyway, the good news is, how do you name compounds that have hydroxide? The same way anything that has hydroxide. It's just sodium hydroxide, lithium hydroxide. So we don't have a special way of naming bases, but we do have a special name for naming what? Okay, so what's an acid? All right, here we go. An acid is a chemical that when you put it in water, it will produce, this thing here will break apart, and it will produce hydrogen ions. This right here is why you're an acid. If you produce hydrogen ions in water, you are going to be an acid. Now, all I want you to know is, how do you know if something's an acid? Okay, here we go. Compounds that start with an H, because who's the star of the show? The hydrogen ion is. You get that? Except for water that starts with an H, and hydrogen peroxide starts with an H. Except for those two, if you see any chemical that starts with an H, you have to name it like an acid. I'm looking at your faces, all right? How do you know it's an acid? Matter of fact, if I had a test on Thursday, and you do, I would probably do the acids first. I'd go down that row and say, oh, Starts with an H. I'm going to name like an acid. Name that like an acid. Get it? So here we go. In your head, this is what your brain's going to do. You're going to have all acids, and then you're going to have a branch over here, and these acids have no oxygen, and other acids, they do have oxygen. Okay, ready? I'm going to show you how simple this is. You can put me on the clock. In less than 6 minutes, we'll have this done. First of all, if it has no oxygen, I want you to memorize this one right here. It's simple. It's the world's most famous acid. It's in your stomach, okay? It's probably, if I was a middle school teacher and I want to write an acid, I'd probably write this one. Does anybody know the name of this acid? Okay, now watch this. Here's the pattern for you. If you're an acid and there's no oxygen in you, you will start with hydro. You will start the name with hydro. Then take the nonmetal right here, and you will end in ic. That's it. That is the pattern for all acids that do not have oxygen. So ready? Hydrochloric acid. Now watch. Tell me what the name of this is. Is that an acid right there? HBr? Yes. What's the name of it? Hydrobromic acid. What about the next one? Hydroiodic. All right, next one. Hydrosulfuric. Now, if you're a good student, you probably wondered why there's a 2 there. Well, look at this right here. Chlorine's -1 and hydrogen's +1. That's why I only needed 1 of each. But what happens when I use H and S? What's the charge on sulfur? Look at the periodic table. That's -2. Well, no wonder I needed 2 hydrogens. See that? But it's still called what? Hydrosulfuric acid. What's the next one? Hydrofluoric acid. Boink. Boink. What do you think? It can't be that easy. I'll give you one sign on here. That's one of the hardest ones I can give you. Anybody know the name of that one? Take a chance. Take a chance. Cyanic.
Acid.
That's it. That's it. Yes.
So like for sulfur, if we say like sulfic, are you gonna count off? If we don't.
It's hydrosulfuric. Is that what you mean? I understand. You might have said, why didn't they call it hydrosulfic? They could have, but they didn't. They decided to make it hydrosulfuric acid.
Okay, but like on a test, if you accidentally name it like the wrong thing with the second element.
Say it one more time.
On a test, if we say like accidentally like hydrosulfic acid, are you gonna count?
I'd like you not to do that. I'm gonna have to count. I'm 1 point off. So it's hydrosulfuric. Okay. There's only so many of these. All right. Now, are you okay with the acids that don't contain oxygen? All you have to do is remember this one. Just remember this one, and you'll have the model for all those, won't you? Now let's flip the paper over. How about acids with oxygen? Acids with oxygen. Here you go. I'm going to write 2 of them, okay? I'm going to write 2 of them right here. Those are both acids. Now, how do I know they're both acids? They start with H, don't they? They start with H. Now, in my head, I will not say hydro. Why don't I say hydro for these?
They do have it.
That's for the ones that don't have oxygen in it, right? So let me show you how to name these. If you know these 2, you'll know them all. If you have oxygen in your acid, tell me the name of that polyatomic ion. Nitrate. Get it? If it ends in 8, then it simply becomes nitric acid. Watch. Now, what's the name of this polyatomic ion? It ends in ite. If the polyatomic ends in ite, nitrous. Wait. NO3, NO2. The one that has more oxygen is the big icky acid. I could use that memory trick again, can't I? NO3, NO2. Who has more oxygens? Who has more oxygens? Then he's the big icky nitrate. Nitric, sorry. And what are you going to be? Nitrous. Oh, I can do this. All right, ready? Tell me what the name of this is. Is it an acid? Does it have oxygen? What's the name of the polyatomic? Sulfate. So what's the name of this? Sulfuric acid. All right, what's this one called? Sulfate, sulfuric, sulfite, sulfurous. What do you think? Yes,
So how can you tell when one has oxygen and one doesn't have oxygen?
it has an O,
Oh, okay.
right? Hey, look at the other page. Hey, look at that. There were no O's over there, were there?
No.
All right. That's why you can't write nitrate N little o. What's N little o? That's nobelium, isn't it? That's not nitrate. That's why it's capital N, capital O, right? Now, what we do, we'll take the homework sheet. Now watch what happens here. We're going to find the page that says naming acids. There it is, right there. Now, for me to reinforce what you've learned today, I thought Matthew came in.
I couldn't find them.
Oh, there he is. Matthew, 10 minutes. What happened in 10 minutes? Okay. All right.
Have y'all been done? Yeah.
Now, all right. It's on video. You can watch another video, okay? All right, here we go. Let's start with Sarah. Sarah, in this here, find me an acid that does not have oxygen in it, and then tell me the name of it, okay? Find one.
Number 2.
Number 2, what is it?
Hydrochloric acid.
Hydrochloric. So it has to end in ic. It has to start with hydro. All right, ready? Lauren, find me another one that does not have oxygen.
Number 9.
Okay, what's the name of this? Hydro sulfuric. Okay, ready? Next one. Find another one, Carter, that does not have oxygen.
Number 6.
What is it?
Hydrobromic acid.
Hydro. Now I just reinforced how do you name acids that don't have oxygen, right? All right, Ryan. Now pick one that has has oxygen in it, but the polyatomic ion ends in 8, ATE.
Number 3,
All right, number 3. What's the name of this polyatomic ion?
sulfuric acid.
Well, what's the name of the polyatomic ion?
Oh, sulfate,
Sulfate. So it becomes what?
sulfuric acid.
And remember, no hydro.
Yeah.
Sulfuric acid. Good. All right. Sawyer, pick another one whose polyatomic ion ends in the suffix ATE.
Number 8.
All right. What's the name of this?
It is. I lost it. Is it hydrogen phosphate?
Well, what's the name of the polyatomic ion?
Oh, phosphate.
Okay, but you can't call this hydrogen phosphate because you have to name it like an acid. So if it's acid, we know it's an acid, it starts with hydrogen, right? And it has phosphate in it. What's the name of the acid?
Phosphate.
It could have been, but they decided to call it what? Phosphoric. All right, another one. Dave, one whose polyatomic ion, what is it?
With an O, phosphoric.
Yes,
Okay.
R. Dave, pick another one whose polyatomic ion ends in 8. 5 or 10? 5 or 10?
5.
Okay, what's the name of the polyatomic ion?
Acetate.
Acetate. What's the name of the acid? And a lot of people say acetic.
Acidic acid.
Now, if you go and get some vinegar in the store, the bottle will say contains 5% acetic acid. What's 95% of that bottle? Water. But a little bit of acetic acid is what we put in mustard and pickle juice and taco sauce. It gives a little twang to things. All right, another one. You weren't here, so I'm going to skip you, okay? All right, ready? Leilani. There's one more whose polyatomic ends in 8. Number 10. What's the name of this one? What's CO3? Carbonate. All right, so what's the name of the acid? Yes, carbonic acid. Okay, now, next. What you got to do is these polyatomics in, there's another one, I'm sorry. There's another one ends in 8. You know the name of this? You know NO3? All right, so what's the name of the acid? Acid. That's it. All right, next. Leroy, what's the name of SO3?
Sulfurous acid?
Now, but what's the name of SO3 though? Not sulfate.
It's sulfite.
So sulfite. So if it ends in ite, right? Sulfate was a big icky thing. So what's this one going to be?
Sulfurous.
Yes. Sulfurous acid. And the next one? Riley. What's the name of NO2?
Nitrate.
No. NO3 was nitrate. What's NO2?
Nitrate.
Nitrite. So what's the acid?
Nitrous.
Yes. Now, just like the quiz, some of you will get to be really, really good at naming it if I write the formula. Isn't that right? But what are some of you weak on? Some of you weak on, you write the formula. So let's try one. Everybody find the ones that say hydro and write the formulas. Which ones say hydro? All right, hydro means no oxygen. So what are the only 2 elements here? I bet H is first. H what?
C.
What's the other element besides hydrogen? Chlorine. And chlorine's -1, hydrogen's +1. We're done. Next one. Find another one that says hydro. The only 2 elements are this. Fluorine's -1, hydrogen's +1. Find another one that says hydro. Look at the bottom. But sulfur is what on the periodic table? -2, and hydrogen's only +1. Uh-oh. All right, everybody got that? Now, let's go after the ones that are the famous ick acids. That means they have the famous 8 polyatomic. Sulfuric. What polyatomic must be on there? The big icky what? Sulfate. Now, hydrogen's +1, so how many hydrogens are you going to need for this guy? +1, -2. Oh, better have another one of those. Find another one. Oh, the famous nitric acid must have the famous what polyatomic? Nitrate. Hey, I think we're done on that one, right? Acetic acid. What's the famous polyatomic there? Acetate. 2, 3, 2. And I put a hydrogen right here. Oh, look, -1, +1. All right, do phosphoric acid. I'm sorry, this is phosphorus. Ooh, it's a hard one. Phosphorus. He must not have the famous phosphate. He must have the lesser known what? Phosphite. Uh-oh, how many hydrogens are you going to need to make that thing add up to 0? 3. Carbonic. Carbonic. What's the polyatomic for that guy? Carbonate. How many hydrogens you need for that? Okay. Nitrous. Not the famous nitrate, but the less famous what? Nitrite. And the last one, phosphoric. you must have the famous phosphate in you. What do you think? What do you think? So I spent most of my time on type 1, 2, and 3 because that's what most of them are. 80% of the ones in the test are type 1, 2, and 3. You get that? But then there's going to be the acids, and you have to name the acids like acids. So in your head, do you have the acids down? They start with hydrogen. Some of the acids have no oxygen. Some of them have oxygen. Do you have that down in your head yet? All right, now, type 5, I'm going to wait till tomorrow, but can I tell you something? There is no way I won't be able to teach type 5 in under 3 minutes, maybe 2. But I teach it last on purpose. It's the easiest. You will not have trouble knowing type 5. You will not have any trouble. The problem is you can only use the rules for type 5 for type 5. Don't ever use it for any other compound. So what are you going to do at home? What are you going to do at home tonight?
Memorize.
Got a coloring sheet. You have a coloring sheet. And if you start coloring it, you'll say, that helped me. That helped me. I had to find all the ones that were -3. And there weren't too many, were there? Okay, so what do you think? Test not till Thursday, right? We play games, review games, the next 2 days. Oh, thank you very much. You did a good job.